Hey everybody, Sandy here, AK Montolio. We're back for round 3 of the Vintage Challenge, and we are playing HogaakVine. Today we won the die roll, and this looks pretty reasonable. My opponent has been playing combo recently, according to MTGO Vintage, and as a result of that, that could be pretty tough on us, but we do have some tools. I think a Force of Vigor would be a card that we would actively be looking for off the top. Oh, okay, my opponent is playing Bazaar. And it looks like they're playing uh, HogaakVine. So the good news for me is that my opponent got rid of a couple vines here. This does breed the question, do we want to lead with a turn 1 Deathrite Shaman here and try and attack their squeeze and then follow up with Wasteland? So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think we get a Bayou here. Now, of course, this deck is chock full of Wasteland, so it may be difficult for us to maintain. But I think this is a reasonable way to attack this deck. If we get countered here, it's not ideal. And a little bit of a tell playing a Wooded Foothills as to what type of deck I'm playing. Bug does not run Wooded Foothills, nor does... okay, so they're very aggressively Force of Willed here. Of note, HogaakVine, which is what they're playing, is 100% reliant on Bazaar of Baghdad, whereas HogaakVine is not. So it is possible that a Wasteland could be good enough to disrupt them here, but we're going to see. I mean, it's definitely an avenue that we have to challenge. I mean, if they've got the Noxious Revival or a second Bazaar, it's obviously not ideal for us. But that's this deck's resilience package, is that it does run Noxious Revivals. But if they don't, their deck just does nothing. They do have it. Okay, so we are definitely in some trouble here. I have a lot of experience playing HogaakVine, and it is a very powerful deck. Um, you know, fraught with counter magic and all that good stuff. You know, ancestrals every turn when you have double squeeze, triple squeeze going, but it does have one terrible downfall, and that is that if you Bazaar is shut off, the deck can't do anything. It's very difficult. Now, it certainly can play from ahead. That goes without saying. So I think we are just going to play towards a Hogaak here. We're going to get some stuff going. My opponent has 4 cards in hand. Obviously, I think it is very high prevalence we're about to get Wastelanded here, which puts us quite behind if they do. I was hoping to find a Wasteland of my own to try and run them off their Bazaar, but we did not hit. I think we get better post-board more than they do. Because, yes, they're going to have ley lines, but our deck is not as hurt by ley line as they are. Okay. Let's see if this resolves. First, we got to get through counter magic, and if that doesn't work, then we need to worry about Force of Vigor. But, I mean, there's only so much that they can do here. Okay, they did not Vigor me. Of note, we can start hitting in with our Root Wallows next turn and pumping them. I mean, it depends what they do here, but they're up to 9 cards. Pretty scary, guys. They hit their own Root Wallow. I have a hollow one. Wasteland, yeah. Yep. So all anticipated here. Hogaak was actually a pretty decent hit, believe it or not. Let's see if we can pull a Hogaak out of the air here. That would be really sweet if we could. We did not hit a Hogaak. I do think we get in here, however. My opponent might just eat a root wallow with a hollow one here and take a bit of damage. It's a pretty reasonable line. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Okay. Hogaak could change the trajectory of this game big time if I can find Hogaak. Okay. So that is pretty good. I am going to block. Once again, looking for a Hogaak here. We did not hit. It is live off the top as well. That was a good draw. And we're going to do it. No vines in the yard either. I think I'd get a trade in here. Hogaak is a live draw off the top of our live berry here. Very close game. They did take the damage. My opponent is definitely playing aggressively here, which you have to appreciate. And no concern whatsoever around paying a life with the Master of Death there. They need to be cognizant of Bloodghast coming in here and dealing damage. So, hopefully they brick here on their Bazaar. They did not. They found a root wallow, which is good. Second Bazaar, okay. That's likely to be problematic for me, but the good news is I still have my Bazaar for a turn at least. And yeah, they didn't commit anything more, so will they attack even? Just with one. I think that's pretty reasonable. And what am I looking for here? I guess a hollow one would be good. Wasteland is not terrible. The truth of the matter is I can actually get in a solid chunk here. Like my opponent is very likely to trade hollow one on hollow one, and I can deal. They'd have to chump, and I can deal them 3 damage plus the Bloodghast. I don't even know that I need a Bazaar here. Like I'm kind of pretty okay with dealing some damage here. maybe I'm being a little bit scared in my approach, but this Bloodghast is solid here. And does pressure my opponent in a way. So I'm going. I feel like they're going to have to double block here. Oh, they have Force of Vigor. Okay, that is reasonable. I'm going to take one of their Bazaars away from them. So they still have double squee coming. I mean, this isn't looking great for me here. But a little bit of a tough situation. Do I actually Bazaar here? Because I really feel like I need to get that Ghast back. But I could also just find Root Wallas or Vengevines here. Like there's a number of things that work in my favor as well for Bazaring. But I feel like the Arbor is pretty important here. Yeah, good for them. They hit double Root Walla. So it doesn't look like I'm likely to sneak this one out, but it's possible. In addition, a Deathrite Shaman could change the trajectory of this game significantly as well. We can just sit back on the defensive. Okay, so they found a Wasteland. And my opponent should feel safe to attack for 8 here. But where it's problematic is if I do find a Bloodghast off the top of my library here, it's pretty good for me. I'm likely to win. Now, I don't know what's at the 4 cards in their hand, obviously, but yeah, they're playing very cautiously here. Yeah, I'm just going to let the Bazaar go. Okay, that is not ideal. Can't really get in here. And I am moving closer towards death. But my opponent has played very cautiously. Defensively so far this match. It's possible that they're buying me more time here. To hear that sound, that is my water gurgle pot. Okay, they found a second Bazaar. So they're just very aggressively digging here. Like, as I said, Deathrite Shaman here this turn is likely enough to buy me time to stay alive and kill them. Now, I still need to get through. They actually cannot force a will me, ironically. So I have some outs here. Hogaak is very strong. Also, Bloodghast. Okay, they did have another one. Okay, so we're getting critical here. Deathrite. There's the Gak. Might be a little bit too late, though. I can block 2 things. All right, so 1, 2, I can block. That puts me to 1. Yeah. They cannot force a will me. I think I have to tap the Dryad Arbor for Fear of Wasteland. And it's in. Maybe shouldn't have done that. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter. Okay. Unless they find a Vengevine. A Vengevine will kill me here if they're able to hit my Divine. Pay the life for the Master. That would make it easy. They did find a Vine. Okay. So the challenge is on here. Okay, they found a Wasteland. All right. They did not attack. Okay, killing my Dryad Arbor is very reasonable. Oh, once upon a time. What does that do for me? So I think what I do here is I attack with Hogaak. They have to double block it, or they die of trample damage. They cannot force of will me, and then I just recast it, right? Another thing I could do, well, that doesn't work. Okay, I'm just going to attack with Hogaak here. Yeah, triple block, okay. Yep, that works. Okay, let's bring him back here, guys, shall we? Don't want to. I guess they've got tons of spells in their yard that I can get here. But all right. So once again, Vengevine is a problem here. But what I can do is I can once upon a time now. I likely have the ability to fetch if I need to here. I mean, Bizarre seems all right. But maybe it's not what I want. Let's take a look on my exile pile. What have I lost here? So I still have the Taiga in my deck. So if I got Blazing Rootwalla here, I think I like that. Hopefully I have not made a mistake here. I do not see a Taiga. Okay, I think we played this pretty well here. We obviously gave up a life, but I liked being proactive on the Once Upon a Time there, despite the creature's not amazing. Once again, this Hogaak is very strong in this position here. I just have to hope they brick here. My opponent has lost 2 vines, so there is 1 vine still hiding, and let's just hope they can't find it. They're going to go down 3 cards here. Okay, they're just going right all in here. Okay, guys, that was a really nice win from us. That one seemed quite improbable multiple times throughout that game, but Hogaak is a card, and I certainly have a lot of memory around Hogaak being um, really good against me when I was playing from the HogaakVine side of things. So I think Boseiju has a little bit more relevance in this particular match because, as I mentioned, they are very reliant on Bazaar of Baghdad. I don't like overdoing it on Force of Vigor, but I do think it's reasonable to have a number of them. I think we can cut a Gak, despite I just said it's so wonderful. HogaakVine hasn't been around for a little while. I'm not seeing a ton of it. Um, since I've started playing the Jund Hogaak version of HogaakVine, and I think Alpine Moon is pretty good. I mean, yes, they can cast things out of their deck with an Alpine Moon, whereas they normally couldn't. But I think shutting off their Bazaar greatly favors us. And for those of you unaware, this is a one-sided feature. And this does play into Force of Vigor. I do acknowledge that. So we need to make 2 more cuts here. Maybe cut a Blazing Root Walla. I like the green for Force of Vigor and Hogaak more than I like this probably in this particular matchup, but let's try this out. Well, I mean, this is a non-Bazaar, non-land hand, but we do have a Black Lotus. Like, can we keep this? Oh no. Feels kind of sus to me, but I think I'm going to try it. They're down to 6, 5. We have to really hope they don't have a ley line. So it looks like they're going to hold at 5. Ley line is pretty good against them. Typically, I mean, they obviously a triple hole in one hand is not ideal. Interesting, they're just passing. What is that? Oh, they have Force of Vigor. That's what it is. Well, I mean, let's go. This is what we signed up for. I wish we had found a land there, but let's find a Gak here. Ah, what a disaster. Okay. Yep. So there it is. My opponent played it correctly. Double Bazaar. Okay. Bazaar. And they should just be churning like crazy here. Double Master. Yeah, that's really good for them. Okay. So we kept a pretty loose hand here. I mean, in hindsight, I shouldn't have been that greedy, but I really, had the Stitcher resolved, our loose plan could have come together. There is no doubt about that. Double Fine, yeah. So this is just over. Probably in the sake of time, we'll see what they do here. Yeah, I'm just going to concede this one. We got punished for being a little bit greedy there. What would we have drawn? Yeah, just all on one. Ah, there was the Bazaar. Okay. Yeah. Like, I feel like the HogaakVine deck is favored against the HoloVine deck in general. Um, but it's close. Okay. This hand is really bad. I'm going to go 5. I can just do better. This is much better. The problem with this particular hand is Force of Vigor is a little bit rough. But I think what we do, like, here's the thing. Can I get rid of the Deathrite? My opponent is capped at 6. I feel like I kind of need to put away the Badlands here. Okay, so the problem with our situation here is that my opponent has a ley line, and that shuts off my Deathrite. But in order for them to really advance their game plan, they're going to want to get rid of my ley line. Okay, so they did find a hollow one, which is unfortunate. Okay, so let's get rid of their Bazaar and hope they don't have another one. We're still kind of in trouble here, but they do have it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Love to find a wasteland. Oh, they found the cradle. Yuck. Mm-hmm. Well, that's something we can pitch to Vigor. We're not looking very good here, though. Do they Vigor here? Interesting. End of turn Bazaar. Yeah, that's the one I didn't really want to see here, because that cradle is going to cause me problems here. I think I need to find a Force of Vigor here, or a Bazaar. Well, Bazaar doesn't even help me that much. Yeah. It's pretty rough. Yeah. We're not dead yet. We need some help here. Another hollow one, yeah. That probably is like an ice it. Well, there's a Force of Vigor, guys. Jeez, that's actually... I'd love to get rid of that ley line. What happens if I get rid of that ley line? Like, how close am I? I'm quite a ways away. But if I find a land off the top, the problem is the hollow ones are really causing me problems here. I think that's just the world I live in. And then I'm going to have to get in front of this root walla. Not ideal, but it's the world we're living in here, guys. I do need some help. And Benjamin, unfortunately, is not it. Okay. Force of Vigor. All right. Well, I mean, I think vigoring their ley line here is good. I'll see if they put out a hollow one. Because if they do, that's excellent for me. They have to discard 3 here. But there is a world where we can claw back in here. Okay, they did not figure. I'm going to pass another turn here and see what happens. I'm not keen to have my opponent drawing cards, but they're just building up. We need a land here. Do they have their own vigor? Yeah. Land? We did not find a land. Damn. All right. I mean, we're in a tough spot now. Do they just start churning? Strip mine, okay. I am going to hit it now. Nice. All right. Well, that was pretty good. They may have a noxious revival here. There's not much I can do about that. I mean, I have a death rate, I guess. So they are turning it. Okay. This will let me cast a Stitcher Supplier. Okay, that is great for me. I am at 5 life. They have 2 Bazaars. Not much I can do about that, but we're going to do this. Black. I'm going to get a Stitcher Supplier in. Did not hit anything, but getting stuff into my graveyard is solid. Okay. Oh, that's such a relief here. Let's see if I can get a Hogaak here. I didn't. Shucks. But it is now live off the top. All right, well, There it is. Doesn't really matter. There's a Hogaak, folks. Just get our first damage of the game in. All right, guys, there you have it. Not quite sure how we pulled that one off, but definitely a big win on our part. Hogaak, very, very good. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Feel free to leave any comments. I will try and get back to you, and we will see you for round 4.